I'm throwing this up for anybody that is wondering if they should get a pair of Doc Martens, considering how in the 90s their quality control seemed to go to crap when they started really outsourcing. I too was wondering that recently because I kind of missed having a pair of cherry slash oxblood dogs. And I bought a pair, and then before I even wore them, I instantly had buyer's remorse, thinking how many times I'd been let down by Doc Marten in the 90s. Uh, After Googling, I started finding all this stuff about a company named Solovair. And apparently, they made Doc Martens under license from 1959 to 1995. And all these great reviews said, oh, if you want Doc Martens that were the quality that you remember from the late 80s, buy Solovair. And so I watched a lot of videos about cutting in half boots by Anvil Rose or Rose Anvil. I forget. Great. He's a leathersmith and did a lot of investigation. And somebody else, I think his name's Derek Reviewer on YouTube. So anyhow, so I bought some Solovairs. Well, I ordered two pair of Solovair, an 11 hole pair and an 8 hole pair. And when I pulled on the 11 hole pair, the tongue ripped in half. And I'm sending those back. Their customer service is great. Their construction, I'm going to say, is not so great. I'm wearing blue Solovairs. Right there, you can see them on my feet. Those are the indigo. Anyhow, so once I determined that the docs I had, I'd be keeping, and the Solovair I'd be keeping, except I needed to return the 11 hole where the tongue ripped in half when I was pulling them on. I started wearing the blue Solovair, the indigo Solovair that I got, and within a week, I noticed that I walked down some stairs, and every time my right foot hit the step, I heard push, push, which is kind of weird. I've never had that happen from an air cushion sole. So I investigated the boot more closely, and what I noticed were the laces on the threads on the Goodyear welt had completely come loose. Yeah, the sliding's not working. Right there, those threads had completely come loose. I had to glue them in place, and then I noticed that the end of the thread right here also was totally undone, and the edge of the leather was coming loose. So I had to basically super glue that, which is, chintzy as hell. Now, Solovair offered to replace them or give me a 30% discount. But let's just keep in mind, that is an 11 hole pair, the tongue ripped in half, and an 8 hole pair that the the Goodyear welt and the what do you call what's that called, the Patriarch stitch. I forget exactly, but the triple stitch that was that was falling apart. And so, contrary to everyone online that said, if you want what Doc Martens used to be, buy Solovair, because they used to make the Doc Martens that were good. Um, yeah, I don't know. The Solovairs that I've experienced are exactly what I feared and used to experience with Doc Martens. Whereas my new made in England Doc Marten, uh, they're built like a tank. There's not a stitch coming loose. I mean, I don't know. Not a stitch coming loose. They're fantastic. They don't fit as snug and they're not as supportive on the insole and the arch as a Solovair. I will say that. But as far as the construction, they are fantastic. And I have another pair of ankle high Doc Martens. They're in the bedroom where my wife is sleeping, so I'm not going to go grab them right now. But they were in a free box, in my neighborhood free box. And so I grabbed them, and they were my size. And they had quite a bit of wear. The insole was pretty worn out. The tread was pretty worn out. But I put a Dr. Scholl or something insole, and they're great. And I looked into if they were made in China, made Malaysia, Vietnam. Turns out they are made in Vietnam, but they've had a hell of a lot of wear, as I could tell. And even on those, there is not a loose stitch anywhere on them. So I don't know. I guess I'm just recording this for posterity to say that I in my experience, Doc Martens have been redeemed a bit in terms of quality, whether they're made in England or or even some of the outsourced ones. Anyhow, just my thoughts. Hope this is helpful. Oh, and see some of the other YouTubers that that have chimed in on this. Rose Anvil or Anvil Rose, I forget. And I think Devin Reviewer or Derek Reviewer. I think it's Devin Reviewer. However, those guys' results led me to think I really should lean into Solovair. My experience has been no, don't. My experience has been Doc Martens quality is actually pretty top notch these days. Oh, and just a side note, the blue Solovairs that I got, they're this really glossy color that I almost feel silly wearing them. Like, what kind of man wears patent leather shoes? They're not patent leather, but they're so glossy they almost look like patent leather. So, I don't know. There's that. But that's a side note. As to the quality and construction, I already went over that. Anyhow, I hope this helps somebody.